Alright, a very big welcome and thanks for joining me here on a news update here on News Ghana Clock, which is coming to you live from our news hub here inside the zoo here in Accra. My name is Kweku Ediamansa. Let's quickly take a look at stories making headlines. UPSA to be named Opoku Ampoma University of Professional Studies soon. Also, police hospital to embark on mass burial. Now, the Vice President indicates that Ghana's pension needs urgent reforms. Also in business, Uber operators embark on sit-down strike. Now in sports, UEFA Champions League semi-final scores will be highlighted right here. We have these and many other stories all coming up in the next few minutes. Please do stay. Alright, thanks for staying there. Now to our first story. The University of Professional Studies, situated at Medina, will soon be known as the Opoku Ampoma University of Professional Studies. This proposal was made by the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at the special convocation held by the university to confer 2 honorary doctorate degrees on the founder of the university and the current president of CAF, Ahmed. President Akufo-Addo further pointed out that the establishment of an endowment fund by the school to help the needy but brilliant students was a good initiative. Now, Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia has called for major reforms in pension administration in Ghana. According to him, prudent management of the pension resources is imperative and the unification seems inevitable. They are committed to creating prosperity and equal opportunity for all. Now, the Vice President made this call when he addressed participants at a high-level stakeholder meeting on unification of pension schemes in the public sector in Accra. He warned of all the dangers of maintaining the status quo, arguing that the rising pensions bill was not sustainable. Now let's do some other stories where government's efforts to revamp the country's railways have caught the attention of the Chinese government, as the Director General of the National Development Reform Commission NDRC of China, Wang Jiangun, is currently in Ghana to have discussions towards the project. Now the 7 billion US dollars project for revamping the railway caters for construction of the Eastern Line from Accra to Kumasi, the Western Line from Takoradi to Kumasi, and the Central Spine from Kumasi to Paga, with 2 branch lines from Kumasi to Yinahini, where there are bauxite reserves, and Tamale to Yendi areas where significant iron ore reserves can be found. Now to some other stories. And Professor Seth Opuni Esiama, Chairman for the National Peace Council and Commissioner of the National Development Planning Committee (NDPC), has stressed on the need for government to play a pivotal role in ensuring that mission schools in the country have better control of their school to help enable the mission eschew nepotism, greed and sectionalism. Now, the chairman made this remark speaking at the 130th anniversary celebrations of Efidrasi Methodist School at Efidrasi in the Eastern Region, which was under the theme Restoring the Past Glory of Efidrasi Methodist School, the Role of Stakeholders. Let's do some other stories where the police hospital administration will embark on a mass burial for about 120 unknown and unclaimed bodies as part of routine measure to decongest the police hospital mortuary. Now, the hospital announced in a statement that the burial will take place 21 days after April 24, 2018. In a statement released by the hospital read, "The general public is hereby being informed to contact the pathology department of the hospital for identification of persons who might have not been seen for some time now as part of the search to avert being added to those earmarked for mass burial after 21 days from this announcement." It further encouraged members of the general public to acquire the habit of always having their national identification cards of any kind on them to help the police and others easily identification of them whenever they are in health crisis or involved in any accident. Now let's do some business story, where in business, customers of commercial bankers would be restricted in borrowings from any bank in the coming months if he or she does not have a credible loan repayment track record. This will follow the strict enforcement of the new Borrowers and Lenders Act by commercial banks in the country. Now, at a stakeholders meeting on creating a robust financial sector, the second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Elsie Addo, disclosed that there are currently discussions on the way forward for the new Borrowers and Lenders Act. Now, the Bank of Ghana has served notice it is currently engaging industry players. A repeal for the current law on borrowing and lending, now passed by Parliament for about a decade now. The Borrowers and Lenders Act, amongst others, provides the legal framework for credit and sets improved standards for disclosure of information by borrowers and lenders. Now, the Act also acts as a check on certain credit practices which may be injurious to the banking sector. Now, let's move on. And scores of Uber drivers massed up at the offices of Uber in Accra on Wednesday as drivers who are on a sit-down strike are protesting against what they say is unfair treatment by the transport services company. Now, some drivers who spoke off camera indicated that they have been compelled to take the action as the company has refused to act on their concerns. Now, Uber, which is a transport service provider, has been operating in Ghana for about a year now, and its relatively improved services have led to most commercial transport users resorting to it at the expense of local taxis. Now, the Transport Ministry and GRA are, however, yet to bring finality to the matter. Let's do some entertainment stories where veteran actress Grace Omabo, popularly known as Mame Dokono, is alleging that the big men who spend lavishly on young ladies are politicians who steal from the state. Now, according to the address, men who genuinely toil for their cash will not waste on young ladies at the expense of their families. Grace Omabo, who is a member of this year's Golden Movie Awards jury, also bemoaned the falling standards of the Ghanaian movie industry. Let's do some sports stories where Liverpool has scored AS Roma by 5-2 in the first leg of the ongoing UEFA Champions League match. Also, Real Madrid won their game by 2-1 against Bayern Munich in an away fixture. That's all we have for you by way of news update. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. UPSA to be named Opoku and Poma University of Professional Studies soon. Also, police hospital to embark on mass burial. Now, the Vice President has indicated that Ghana's pension needs urgent reforms. Also, in business, Uber operators embark on sit-down strike. And in sports, UEFA Champions League matches have been featured. That's all we have for you by way of news update here on News Ghana Clock. For more news updates, log on to our social media handles, all at News Ghana Clock for more news update. My name is Kweku Ediamansa, and this news update was produced by AMULENS Production. Thanks for watching.